transmitiendo nuestra comunidad al mundo.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes, amigos. Bienvenidos a We Love Nogales. Tenemos la oportunidad de platicar, pues, como siempre, con alguien importante que nos trae información muy relevante de nuestra comunidad. Y en diferentes áreas nos ha tocado platicar con gente que nos trae información en cuanto a cultura, en cuanto a salud, en cuanto a deporte. Pero hoy tenemos la oportunidad de hablar un poquito de justicia social y de lo que es salvar, pues, nuestro planeta y lo que otras organizaciones están haciendo, pues, para cuidar, ¿verdad? Para cuidar el futuro de nuestra tierra, la madre tierra y de todo lo que hay ahí. Así que gracias por estar aquí. Thank you so much for being here in We Love Nogales. This platform, they always give us the opportunity to talk about good stuff that happen in our community and our county. So like every week we have the opportunity to bring someone that let us know about the good stuff that we are doing and we are having about culture, sports, health, but also social justice is very important because there is different programs and projects with a different organizations that they do something good for our environment. And today we have the opportunity to have a Caroline Schaffer with us. She is from Patagonia Resource Alliance, and she's going to talk about the project and also about this nonprofit organization that is doing something good for our community and something good for our future generations. Welcome, Caroline. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for the opportunity to get educated and to know about what you guys doing right here in our community and how it's important to continue checking in our resources and how it's important is to continue protecting them for ourselves and for our future generations. Welcome to We Love Nogales. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to share information with all of your listeners.
Thank you, Caroline. So Patagonia Area Resource Alliance is a nonprofit and is in our community since when? And what is the mission of these organizations, Caroline?
Patagonia Area Resource Alliance formed in 2011 in response to mining companies showing up in the Patagonia Mountains again. There was a history of mining in the Patagonia Mountains over about a 100-year period, and that ended in the early 1960s because there are less and less minerals available, and there are a lot of minerals in the Patagonia Mountains. The mining companies returned to this area about 10 years ago because there are a lot of minerals in these mountains. Unfortunately, what they will have to do to get to those minerals will have a significant impact upon our natural resources, our water. And this region is known as one of the top 5 regions in the world most in need of protection because of species extinction. And those of us who work with Patagonia Area Resource Alliance firmly believe that it is more important for us to protect the water, for the plant life, the wildlife, and the human life, and not necessarily in that order, but those are what are important today, and as you said, for the future generations. I love the indigenous wisdom of thinking for 7 generations. And that is why we are here paying attention to what these mining companies want to do in this area. And behind me, what you see outlined in red is the Santa Cruz watershed. And while the proposed activity is over in the Patagonia Mountains, the amount of water that they intend to use will impact the entire Santa Cruz watershed, and we need to be concerned about this. I have an example that of the old mining during that 100 years, the whole 100 years of mining, the old mining companies removed a total of 250,000 tons of ore. So 100 years, 250,000 tons of ore. The former owner of one project proposed to remove that 100-year total every 25 days. This isn't grandpa's mining anymore.
Right.
We
Wow.
have to be paying attention.
Wow, wow, it's true. La información que nos está proveyendo Caroline es acerca pues de lo importante que es, ¿verdad?, proteger nuestro ambiente. Nos habla de que Patagonia es una de las 5 partes más importantes en el mundo para proteger por todo lo que pueda afectar a las especies, tanto animal, al agua, precisamente, a la fauna, a la flora y también a los humanos, ¿verdad? Y nos decía, no necesariamente en el mismo orden, ¿no? Sino que es muy importante proteger pues a todos esos como un fin común. Lo que es el Patagonia Resource Alliance existe desde el 2011, cuando se dio a conocer y se integró para poder pues trabajar y ver con todo lo que es la minería, cómo empezaron en ese tiempo a querer volver a sacar minerales del área y por eso se ha creado para ver para proteger ese impacto que puede ocasionar en forma negativa pues a la comunidad. Nos está mostrando en el mapa aquí todo lo que es el área en rojo, lo que es el watershed, donde todo el agua que existe, ¿verdad? Y nos habla porque son muchas toneladas de agua, de galones de agua que se pueden estar utilizando para poder trabajar en esto de la minería, que obviamente pues, va a impactar, ¿verdad?, a todo lo que son los recursos naturales. Y que tenemos que estar nosotros también pendientes como comunidad, pues para que esto no suceda, para poder proteger a nuestra área y nuestras futuras generaciones, como habíamos comentado. Thank you, Caroline. I'm trying to explain a little bit in Spanish what you mentioned it, and I hope I got everything that you said.
Thank you.
So we're talking about 250 tons of tons of materials to remove, or water, or gallons of water. What you? Mm-hmm.
That was the comparison of how many tons of ore were removed during a total of 100 years of history versus what they now in modern mining intend to remove that 100-year total every 25 days.
Wow, 25 days?
Yes. Big difference.
It's going to be a huge difference.
Yeah, big difference. The mining company that currently owns the major project in the mountains has not yet announced their mine production plans, but what they are currently doing is asking a permit from the state to discharge up to their permit is asking for 2.3 billion gallons of water per year. They say they would average out at 1.6 billion gallons of water. That's billion with a B.
Wow.
Gallons of water per year. And they need to do that because the shaft that they want to create will fill with water.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to remove the water as they're building this shaft, and they want to dump that into the Harshaw Creek. So they want to dump 1.6 billion gallons at a minimum into the Harshaw Creek every year for up to 4 years. That's the permit they're asking for right now. That will completely reconfigure the watershed.
Wow. So what do you guys think that is going to be the impact for everything? Because I remember sometimes when I was just working in an area in Patagonia where someone built a pond, and this pond changed the course of the water, and what it happened, all the vegetation it started dying, and it was just a pound and that was created and changed. Imagine 1.6 billion of gallons of water per year. What's going to be the impact? What could be the impact?
That is our concern.
Mhm.
And because it is our concern, what our organization has done is we are currently working with experts, hydrologists, and geochemists who are evaluating the information that the state agency has shared with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we were so concerned about what we were reviewing that we asked the state agency to give us an extra 30 days for the comment because there's a lot that we don't know yet, and we needed the extra 30 days in order to be able to comment. And the agency agreed and has extended the deadline now. It was originally March 8th. The deadline is now April 7th for our organization and other organizations to submit comments. In addition, we were so concerned that our organization wrote a letter to the federal EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and asked them to make their comments. And they have the right to do a 90-day comment period.
Mm-hmm.
And Congressman Grijalva, as chairman of the House Natural Resources Committee, has also sent a letter to the EPA asking them to grant PARA's request. I can't tell you specifically what would happen. That's what we're waiting for the experts to tell us. But it is so significant that the state agency gave us extra time to respond. And we are hoping that the federal government, the EPA, will also step in and respond, because this is very serious and of great concern to us. Our organization, we call ourselves watchdogs. We're a local organization of concerned citizens. We're paying attention to what is happening. And over the years, we have formed alliances with what we call the big dogs, the major organizations at the national level, for instance, Earthworks and Defenders of Wildlife. And they work with us and bring the legal firepower to make the comments, etc.
You know what? Now that you're talking about this issue, 2 years ago, I was talking to one friend of mine that he have a small ranch right here in Sonora, and I think that the government they in Nogales area, they give permit to uh, to have another two wells in the area, two wells, and he mentioned it that those just to drill in another wells, how it was affected his well, and also he have a pond where a lot of birds they come to to be there during the migration, and how they was completely devastated, and how the small lake that he had right there was empty, and how affected. So just seeing in that part in the small rancher with a guy, I just imagine the impact that I will have to remove all this water and this watershed that we have, and how the impact it could affect. Now that we know when we go to the area of Patagonia, this is a bird area, and there's a lot of wild animals. When you walk right there, you can see the deer just walking right there. A lot of vegetation, a lot of oh, resources how could be affected. So I hope that you guys have a positive answer and get the time that you guys need to do a better um, assessment of what's going to happen, so they can decide what to do. It's very concerning and scary at the same time.
It is very concerning, especially because we know that southern Arizona and much of the state and the country is experiencing a mega drought.
Ujú,
And we have to keep in our awareness at all times that we are in a climate crisis.
ujú.
We cannot continue to pretend everything is like it used to be. We must begin to behave differently as human beings in order for survival.
Right, right. I think that we must to be aware, we must to balance uh, the benefit that could be the mind, but also the impact that how it's going to affect us. And and it's good that you guys are there, and just to clarify and to balance it, to show us and to educate us how these things are going to affect us at one point, to us and our kids and
Yeah.
a future generation, like we mentioned it before. Voy a tratar de explicarlo un poquito en español. Sí, fíjense que ahorita uno de los problemas que están pasando en la actualidad es que pues la mina sí está necesitando pues poder obtener 1.6 billones de galones de agua al año para poder meterlos al creek y poder trabajar para poder sacar más materiales, ¿verdad? De la mina. Esos son permisos que van a afectar mucho, pues, tanto a lo que es la fauna, como hemos mencionado, la vida animal, a nosotros los humanos, y así como a la flora, ya que es mucho el agua que se van a sacar, y nosotros, pues, hemos notado en la parte de Arizona, pues, que hemos tenido menos agua, y por lo tanto, esa agua, esos mantos acuíferos que se van a ver afectados, pues, también nos van a afectar de diferente forma. Platicábamos de que para nosotros es muy importante balancear, ¿verdad? Lo que una mina va a traer como en forma económica, pero también tenemos que estar atentos de lo que nos va a afectar, ¿verdad? A nosotros como humanos y tanto a nosotros como a nuestros hijos, que también hay que mantenernos alertas, ¿verdad? Y poder revisar y sobre todo, pues que poder hacer los necesarios ajustes para que que ellos tengan más tiempo, en este caso, para poder hacer un assessment o para poder reconocer cuál va a ser el impacto que puede tener, ¿verdad? Ya se han mandado cartas a lo que es el APA, que es el Environmental Protection Agency, por parte tanto de Raúl Grijalva como de la organización de Patagonia Research Alliance, y pues están esperando por una respuesta. Queremos una respuesta positiva para obtener más tiempo, porque ya están trabajando con hidrologistas y en algunos otros científicos que en esta materia, para que puedan pues medir el impacto que va a tener pues el uso de tantos galones de agua, ¿verdad? En nuestra comunidad. Así que en este caso ellos han trabajado como observadores, sobre todo observadores que son los que están viendo pues qué es lo que está pasando en esta área. Es algo pues muy alarmante y un poquito de miedo, ¿verdad? Porque sí, sí es algo que afecta en mucho. Le platicaba que hace poquito platiqué hace como 2 años con un ranchero que él tenía su pound, su laguito y su pozo, y el gobierno pues otorgó otros 2 o 3 permisos más para poder hacer otros pozos. Y como el hecho de hacer esos pozos extra, como uno, quitaron su agua, y otra parte, el lago que era un lugar de descanso para especies de aves y de otros animales que migraban, cómo quedó seco, ¿verdad? Y cómo afectó, pues, por ese lado también a la vida animal. Y sobre todo, pues, también su rancho, ¿no? Que muchas veces cuestiones como esas pueden de considerarse, pues, para no afectar una u otra cosa. Y se imaginan, pues, tantos millones de agua, billones de agua, pues, 1.6 billones, no estamos hablando de millones de galones de agua, pues, para sacar al año, pues, para poder obtener materiales, cómo nos pueden afectar en un futuro. Me quedo un poquito pensando porque no, habíamos visto pues una parte de lo que es la mina, pero no veíamos pues el otro, cómo nos afecta de otra forma, ¿verdad? Que también es bueno pues saberla y comentarla, no con el fin de pues de crear polémica, sino más bien de crear conciencia y de educarnos al mismo tiempo. Caroline, pues I just explained what we talk about it and how it's important to continue observing and being checking what's happening with our all these minds and how can affect us directly to us, the wildlife, the flora, the fauna, and everything is surrounding in our environment. Les acabo de explicar que también se mandaron unas cartas a lo que es el APA, pues para ver si se puede obtener más tiempo para poder seguir pues haciendo estos estudios para determinar el impacto que va a tener. I just explained the community about the petition that you guys did, and also the HALBA about to the APA, just to have more time to continue doing the assessment necessary to find out the impact and see what's going to proceed, no, what we have to do to protect what we have now. And continue, I'm kind of shocked and alarming about this.
Thank you. It is. And I would like to talk a little bit about the economy too, because there's a perception that this anything related to mining would bring jobs and benefits in terms of the economy. So that is important for people to understand that our entire region here, and that's across the border, because we think in terms of watersheds, not in terms of these artificial boundaries that have come up. And in terms of the watershed, we are so fortunate to live in what is recognized as one of the most biologically diverse regions in the country. We have more rare, threatened, and endangered species than anywhere else in the United States. We are a nature-based economy. And we also have many organizations here who are working towards co-creating that better world, a restoration economy. And a lot of people and organizations locally have gotten together and are commissioning a Santa Cruz County economic study that focuses pre-COVID on that nature-based economy and restoration. And for about a dozen years, I owned a retail store in Patagonia, and our businesses, our sales were 15% local, 35% from the rest of the state, 44% from the rest of the country, and 6% from around the world to Patagonia. We are a nature-based economy in Patagonia, but really also throughout Santa Cruz County. And the cultural benefits of being a borderland community are profound. And so when we want to talk about the economic of this potential new activity, we first have to be talking about the economy of being a nature-based and a restoration economy. And I believe those are mutually exclusive activities.
Right. Right. It's true. Because one point is the economy, and the other point is the impact that's going to have us with this type of businesses right here too, and something that we have to measure and something that we have to balance and see as and find exactly what is going to be the impact. I think it's very important too. Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear. I'm still thinking, and I'm still seeing all the numbers that you mentioned, and it's scary. It's scary.
It is.
It is. And Caroline, I just want to say thank you for sharing with us this information to keep us educated in this area, and also to know that this Patagonia Research Alliance is here in Patagonia. But I think it's important for the rest of the county to be aware of this type of organizations and what kind of stuff we can do, and how can we approach to you guys and see all the work that you guys doing for our community. So thank you very much for continue putting a big eye in these resources in this area, and being active, protecting, and also continuing supporting all our environment. So something very important, and thank you so much for all the information that you guys are providing us, and see what we can do, and find what we can approach you, and let us know how can we communicate or support your projects and all the work that you guys do. What we can do as citizens to support this type of organizations and work that you guys doing in our community. Please.
Okay. Thank you. I think you were going to share our website. The best thing I can suggest is people visit the website, sign up for our newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
It takes all of us standing up and speaking out in order to protect the environment and the future of all of our children.
Right. Right, it's true. Thank you. Y le preguntaba a Caroline que si qué es lo que nosotros, pues, primeramente agradecerle, ¿verdad?, el trabajo que están haciendo para proteger nuestro medio ambiente y para poner una atención a todo lo que está pasando en nuestra área en cuanto a materia de protección ambiental. Y le preguntaba que si nosotros cómo podemos ser activos y partícipes en este tipo de organizaciones, como comunidad, como condado. Nos dice que primeramente, pues conociendo, ¿verdad?, entrando al área, al website, registrándose para recibir el newsletter y conocer un poquito más de lo que está pasando. Yo creo que nos dice que es necesario que todos estemos en esto como comunidad, pues para saber lo que está pasando y cómo podemos ayudar. Me gustaría preguntar, Edgardo, ¿hay alguna pregunta de la audiencia, alguna información o algo que tengan duda?
No, no hay preguntas, Santos, hasta el momento, pero pues ahí está nuestro
Tienes apagado el micrófono.
amable audiencia siempre pendiente y atentos.
No te escuchamos.
Perdón. Sorry. Ay, perdón. Que no hay preguntas, Santos. Está la audiencia ahí muy pendiente como siempre, pero ninguna pregunta hasta el momento.
Yo creo que están en chat como yo. Y como tú, ¿verdad? Yo creo. Pues, Caroline, I just asked Edgardo if someone in the audience have any question. The audience is right there, but they didn't have any question yet. And I mentioned that probably they are in shock like I am, and Edgardo is too. So, with information and what's happening right now. But please let us know if you have anything else to add and something else that we didn't talk, and it is important to mention it. We're going to appreciate if you can let us know. There is anything else? Mm-hmm.
We will reach out to you, and we appreciate this opportunity to share with you and with your listening audience. Thank you very much.
Pues the doors from We Love Nogales are open. Anytime that you guys have something to share, let us know what's going to happen if you receive the approval to get more time to do these assessments. I think that we would like to let the community know, and also if you have information about how we can interact or how we can participate, I think this is important too. And any information that you really want to share with us, we're going to be more than happy to open these doors and open this platform just to give the information that you guys need to provide for the community.
Thank you. Much appreciate that. Thank you.
Caroline, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. And I say thank you again for all the work that you guys do, and continue being a big watchers.
Thank you. We will.
Thank you very much. We let you go and we continue in contact. We ask the audience if they have the opportunity to share this information, to do it, because I think this information that everyone needs to know. I know that most of the time we give information about what the success, but I think that this information is very important to us too, because it's something that we can be together and protect what we have right now, and for our future generation, like we mentioned it many times during these conversations. So thank you so much, and we continue right here, and we love Nogales.
We love Nogales. Thank you.
Thank you.
Transmitiendo nuestra comunidad al mundo.